Welcome to the PMX Conversations, where we explore precious metals, global markets, and the decisions that shape long-term wealth preservation. I'm Toronto Mike, and this podcast is brought to you by CanadianPMX. We're joined by Zev, Retail Bullion Manager, CanadianPMX, and in this episode, we'll be discussing bullion and precious metals for new investors. Hi, Zev, and welcome to the PMX Conversations.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. I'm going to start right off the top by asking you to tell me what's going on. What happened with the price of silver and gold in the last, 4 to 6 months?
Well, if you've been following the news, you'll have noticed that, the price of gold and especially silver have been on a tear, especially silver, been on a parabolic rise. Brought a lot of attention, a lot of customers into our stores. Everybody's asking about gold and silver.
Because people don't want to miss out.
Absolutely. We're experiencing a lot of first-time buyers who are coming in, especially because they feel that they got to get in on it.
Now, parabolic, that's not a word you use lightly. Like, you don't toss around a word like parabolic.
Right. So just to give you an example, I can remember maybe only 3 or 4 months ago, very short period of time, silver was, maybe less than half of where it is right now.
And we're talking on February 23rd, 2026.
Yeah. So, for instance, this morning, I see silver at $119 Canadian. If you go back 3 or 4 months, it was like maybe $60.
Wow.
$70.
Okay, well, parabolic is a good phrase then.
Yes.
Even though most listeners right now went to their dictionary to find out what parabolic means.
Yes. So, again, for the last 2-3 months especially, we've seen silver go up like literally $2, $3, $4 per day, every day for that period of time, which is historically, as long as I've been in the industry, I've never seen.
Wow. So is bullion, is it an investment product or a storage of wealth? Can you just help me understand the difference?
So gold historically has been a storage of wealth. You have to think of it, when you buy gold and silver, what are you buying it for? And while you're holding it, you're not earning any interest. It's not paying you any dividends. So is it an investment product? It's debatable. But is it a storage of wealth? I would say it is more a storage of wealth. So historically, people have tended to buy gold as a safe haven for periods of uncertainty in the markets, which we're experiencing right now, geopolitical risk. And it's also a hedge against inflation.
Can you elaborate on that? How is it a hedge against inflation?
Well, in times of inflation, I going to the grocery store now, you see prices going up all the time compared to where they were. So the dollar that we have now in our pocket buys you much less than it did just a year ago or a couple of years ago, right? So keeping your money in the bank, it's not keeping up with inflation, right? Whereas if you have gold and even now silver recently, it's going up with the cost of inflation and even more so. So that's why there's so much more interest in it these days.
Inflation proof, if you will.
And it has been.
Now, would you mind speaking to me about the purity of bullion and tax consequences?
So everything that we sell here at PMX is pure gold. When I say pure gold, it's 99.99% pure gold, and that's investment grade gold. When you go to a jewelry store and you buy a gold chain or a necklace, it could be 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, and so on. So those are those could be 41%, 75%, maybe up to 22% pure. So because of that, those are taxable. So here in Canada, gold that's pure, it's
okay. Have a drink there. Listen, I'm telling you now, this is so exciting. You'd be inhuman if you weren't all.
My mouth got dry there. Sorry about that. So if gold is 99.99% pure, it's non-taxable. So if you were to come in and buy something that's non-pure, then we would have to tax it. So for instance, a gold Krugerrand. Have you heard of a gold Krugerrand? No. It's a South African gold coin, or even a U.S. gold eagle. Okay. So those are 22 carats. They're 91% pure. So if somebody were to buy that, they would have to pay tax on that.
That's fascinating.
People don't want to pay tax.
No.
So what we sell is just pure gold. It's non-taxable. People like that. And also when they sell it back to us, it's non-taxable. So that's the advantages of buying pure gold.
So what's that threshold where it's non-taxable?
99.9.
99.9.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody wants to pay taxes.
Nobody wants to pay taxes.
I have a question about when I'm looking into bullion, and hopefully in a moment we're going to do a little show and tell, and we can be even ultra specific on what are we talking about. Is it soup? What are we talking about? But everything is a troy ounce.
Yes.
So I'm curious, like, what is the weight of a troy ounce?
Okay. So a troy ounce is, to be exact, it's 31.1035 grams. Now that is different than, let's say, a baker's ounce. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy a bag of flour or sugar, an ounce of flour or sugar is 28 grams.
Okay.
So a lot of clients, first-time clients coming in here, will assume that they're buying 28 grams when they're asking for an ounce of gold. So we need to make sure they understand the difference.
Troy ounce. And who in Troy, I'm sure this is a Greek origin, Troy.
I thought so too until I looked further into it,
yeah?
but it's not. No, Troyes is it's actually a city in France.
Okay.
Which was once the hub of the trade markets, and people used to trade and use gold and silver as payment. So the unit of measure was called a troy ounce.
That, my friend, is a fun fact.
There you go.
I like the fun
Troy
fact.
France.
Troy France. Because my
up.
brain thought about Troy France is what I'll be Googling later.
Yeah.
I think of Helen of Troy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so great minds think alike and fools seldom differ.
Right.
Is how that one goes. Now, do you mind maybe showing me, like, I want to do a little show and tell just so I can understand. Like, so when we talk about bullion, it's actually like it's a tangible physical, like a bar of silver or gold or whatnot. But you have a couple of examples in front of you. Maybe show me a couple. Like,
okay, so let's start off with.
Oh, you skipped the heavy one there. Okay.
The simple. Well, you know what? We'll work up.
No, you're right. You're smart to do that.
So we talked about a troy ounce. So this, for instance, this is. I don't know if you can see this on the camera.
Yeah.
So this is 1 ounce, 1 ounce silver maple, 1 ounce troy ounce.
You got to lift it higher though.
Okay.
Just
sorry.
Yeah, maybe up to your.
And this is a 1 ounce gold.
Okay.
Coin. Okay. They're both 1 ounce. You notice a difference in the price? In the size? Which one's larger?
The silver one looks larger.
Yes,
to me.
because silver is not as dense as gold, right? So because gold is more dense, it doesn't need as much space to make up the same troy ounce.
So I have a question. What if I keep that gold coin in my pocket and it scratches against my keys and it just, what happens to your quarters, your dimes? Right. Do people still carry change? Yes, I suppose.
Yes.
So what happens if if it gets scratched or the tone is affected? Like, does that reduce the value?
No. So,
like, how important is it that I treat it and protect it the way you are so it doesn't get scratched?
As far as the value of it, no. So look, pure gold, pure silver, it is a soft metal. So if you were to drop this gold coin or silver coin, it would probably ding if you dropped it on a tile floor. Okay. But if you put it in your pocket with your keys and other coins, yeah, it might scuff up a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you were to bring it into me to sell, it's still 1 ounce of gold.
Right.
Right. It's still 1 ounce of silver.
It doesn't need to be mint condition.
Yeah. So basically, we're buying this
It's not like a hockey card.
Right. Yeah, because you're buying this strictly for its purity,
Right.
which is pure, and you're buying it for its weight. And that's how we sell it, and that's how we buy it back. So as long as it's still 1 ounce of pure gold, 1 ounce of pure silver, we're going to pay you whatever the price is at that time.
Now, I see you have a rather large bar of silver. I believe that's silver there. There's a couple, but that large one there. So if you can even lift that, I don't know how strong you are there. Is that?
See if I get my morning workout in.
I was going to say, because if you talked about if you dropped that coin, it would get like a ding or whatever. But if you drop that, it's going to go through the floor.
It would make a big ding. Not on the bar, but on the floor.
Right, yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at, that's 100 troy ounces of silver.
Yes. And you'll notice that it does say troy ounce, right?
Yeah. Troy ounce there.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
So, like, people are buying the physical, tangible bars here.
Yeah. So they could buy 1 ounce. They could buy 10 ounce. For instance, this is a 10 ounce, right? 10 ounce bar. When you buy a larger size bar, you're probably going to get a slight discount. Think of it as a volume discount, right? Because the cost to make 100 ounce bar versus, let's say, 100 1 ounce coins is much less, right? The minting process is much more affordable on one bar.
You'll be, for example, you'll be reading comic books or something, and you got, I don't know, Scrooge McDuck, okay?
Never heard of him.
You never heard of Scrooge McDuck? He's like the Ebenezer Scrooge. He's the uncle, I think, he's Donald Duck's uncle, I want to say, Scrooge McDuck. But he would be, he'd have a bunch of bars of gold. Like all his fortune would be in bars of gold. But I always thought, this is some old time thing, because it's it's fascinating that I'm now looking at these actual bars that I would see in these comic books. So.
Yeah, it's like if you watch, let's say, older movies or gold heist movies, right? They always show you big bars like this. Exactly. Yeah. That's what people think of. Yes. And they do make them those sizes, but for retail sale, we sell obviously the smaller denominations. So do you have clients that'll come in and they'll be wanting to purchase silver because they're following the news? We use that big P word, I'm going to call it, okay? Parabolic, the price increase of silver over the last few months. Like, are people now looking to cash in, make a quick buck? This is like an investment opportunity? Yeah. We do get some of the newer clients coming in, like you said, because of the fear.
They're looking, they look at the charts, they see that somebody, it's the same thing with any investment, I suppose, but they see it's climbing. You'd be a fool to get in now, and then in, I don't know, a couple of months, you sell it, easy money.
Right. And that's what they're thinking. And hey, like for the last 2-3 months, they probably could have. But if you look back just 3 weeks ago, Mike, silver hit $150 an ounce. Okay. And then the next day, it dropped back to 100 in one day. So how would you feel, if you bought it that Thursday? Because that's when it happened. Thursday, I remember it hit like 150. And then the next morning, it dropped. And I think it was something to do with whatever, the man south of the border, said. So anyways, so it is very volatile. Right. Prices are very volatile. And so for somebody who thought they can make a quick buck, we had a lot of clients calling in asking, I want to change my order or cancel my order. So I have to advise people that if they're buying it to make a fast buck, there's other ways, or I would say, do some research first.
Well, you asked me how would I feel if that happened to me, and I was thinking I'm still holding on to Nortel stock. So
I bought Nortel too. Oh my gosh, don't remind me of that. That was a bad experience.
What's the other one? The BRIEX, I think.
BRIEX. Oh my gosh, yes.
You just frame it. You frame the certificate as a
Yeah.
an item for your wall, basically, like a memento.
Yes, yes.
So I'm curious about you personally, Zev, on our way out, because this is all very interesting to me. But when did you personally become interested in bullion? Like, how long have you been in this world?
I've been in this industry since 2011. I've been following the markets, even longer. So I've always had an interest in the markets. And then once I came into this industry, dealing specifically with bullion, it's just another investment product that I took an interest in.
And are you personally, like, under your bed, would I find 100 gold bars?
I'm not going to tell you where I store it, but yes, I do.
Smart man.
I do have a little bit in my portfolio, gold and silver. Yes, being in this industry for this period of time, yeah.
You eat your own dog food.
Yeah.
And how long have you been with Canadian PMX?
PMX since 2011.
Okay, 15 years.
Yeah.
Did you get like a special
a gold
pin
watch or something?
Something. I was going to say a pin, but 15 years, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yes. September of this year actually will be 15. So
okay, we're taking a note over here. There might be a special gold bar for you. It'll be chocolate though.
Yes, but it's been very fascinating. I've seen so Mike. I've seen the ups and downs of the industry, gold and silver pricing going up and down and so on. So I'm not surprised. What it's been doing lately. It's fascinating.
Well, nothing would surprise you at this point.
No, not at my age.
Not at your age. Not at your advanced age.
Advanced age, yes.
I was going to call you junior, but now I think...
With my wisdom.
Well, you can't teach wisdom, Zev. And I got to say, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights today. I love this.
My pleasure. Me too. I had fun.
To learn more about Canadian PMX, visit CanadianPMX.com. You can also follow Canadian PMX on social media for... market updates, announcements, and future episode releases. I'm Toronto Mike, and I'll see you in the next episode of the PMX Conversations. Thanks for listening.